welcome back to the most unprofessional sports channel on YouTube, Swivel Chair Sports. I'm your host, Zach Circleberg Merkel, here with my coach today, Aaron. Go ahead and say hi, Aaron.
Hi, Aaron.
All right, make sure to like and subscribe if you like and if you enjoy our content. Other than that, let's go ahead and get into it. So, this video, we're going to be going over the upcoming matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers. Big game between two powerhouses in the NFC. Could determine who the best team in that conference is at this point in the season. Obviously, the Eagles coming in at 10-11 record, while the Niners come in at 8-3. So, record-wise, Eagles will still be the best record-wise in the NFC, regardless of what happens this game. But the Niners could, kind of make a claim as the best team talent-wise after this week. But we'll kind of go over that here in a little bit. But Aaron, let's go ahead and get your first takes on this upcoming matchup between two big teams out in the NFC.
Yeah, obviously this is NFC Championship rematch, so everybody's kind of looking for what should be a fireworks game. I don't know. I'm not super convinced about the Eagles.
Really? So,
Yeah.
So that's an interesting thing to point out, because obviously the Eagles have not won a lot of games by a lot of points this season. I don't think they've won a single game by 14 or more, in fact, or more than 14 or something like that. Most of the teams they've beaten by more than one score have been not playoff caliber teams. And then obviously the teams that they played that are playoff caliber, they've kind of had a couple things go their way late in those games that may or may not shifted the outcome. Some people are saying the refs are involved. I don't know. They may have been paid off. That's hearsay. Allegedly, I'm not going to claim that the refs assisted the Philadelphia Eagles in any way, shape, or form against the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean Buffalo Bills. I mean, insert team here.
Cowboys,
them too. Yeah. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that the refs' calls late in games in all three of those against quite possibly their three toughest teams this season. I'm not going to say that the refs may or may not have changed the outcome of those games. I'm not going to say that. That's not what I'm going to say. But
some people are saying it.
Some people are.
You're saying.
Some people are. I've heard that. I've heard murmurs.
We're just saying what other people have
through the grapevine, you may say, has been heard. I heard it through the grapevine. But then obviously the San Francisco 49ers have also shown at times this year that they may not be legit contenders, having that three-game losing streak. They were missing a lot of their key weapons in those games, though. So do you have any concern about the Niners being legitimate? If obviously the Eagles have a better record, so they should be better, but the Niners, according to Vegas, are supposed to win this game. They are a 3-point favorite after all.
My only concern about the Niners is having to play from behind. Like a 10, 14-point deficit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Brock Purdy has really shown that he can consistently win games like that, despite kind of having the team built around him. Granted, those three losses, Deebo Samuel and Trent Williams were both out, so two key players.
I think
in that
Christian McCaffrey was out for half of one of those games.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I think we were talking kind of before this, and I told you I had a take I didn't want to let slip yet. And that take is, I think the Eagles are this year's Vikings.
Really?
Wow. Getting all the lucky bounces.
Okay.
Now, granted, I don't think they're that overrated.
Right, sure.
But they are that similar of a team where they're just kind of getting all the lucky bounces and winning all these close games that I think eventually it's going to kind of swing the other way. And I think ultimately they'll probably lose maybe one or two more games this season. I could see them losing this game and then maybe to the Cowboys the following week. But other than that, they've got pretty much a cakewalk schedule.
Yeah.
Or what should be a cakewalk schedule. So they'll probably have a pretty road through the playoffs and end up playing the 49ers again.
So that was actually going to be something I brought up then. You brought up the Cowboys game coming up. Obviously, last time they played them, it came down to the wire, came down to a big call on the goal line.
And a
Whether or
guy stepping
not,
out of bounds when he didn't need to.
yeah, and that too. Dak Prescott barely stepping out of bounds as he tried to dive for the pylon. Um, so you could easily say that Dallas should have won that game. Do you think Dallas might be the better team?
Um, in the regular season, yeah,
Sure, yeah,
but
yeah.
we all know how
What they'll
them
do,
boys
yeah.
be when they come to the playoffs.
Right,
So
right.
Dak will have to prove to me that this year is different for me to go wholeheartedly in on the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's fair. A lot of people are saying Jalen Hurts might be the MVP this season. Obviously, there's really no one particular player that's standing out as far as that goes, but Jalen Hurts is the front runner at this point after knocking off who they just the Bills, Chiefs, and Cowboys back to back games, back to back to back games actually. Uh, what are kind of your thoughts on that? It kind of feels like he's the MVP frontrunner by default because no one's kind of separating themselves statistically. Obviously, he's the quarterback of the best team in the league record wise, but you could argue there are definitely quarterbacks playing better than him by a statistical standard. I mean, you can look in the same division over at Dak Prescott. He's having a hell of a year. You could argue he should maybe be in the running, and he's kind of third, I think, behind Mahomes, who's at number two. But Jalen Hurts kind of, I think he's a plus 180, while Mahomes is a plus 250. So he's kind of far out up there as far as front runner goes. What's kind of your thoughts about that?
I don't necessarily hate it. The thing I find annoying is that, you know, people get this narrative in their head um, going into the season, and then it just kind of sticks with them, no matter really what happens. I don't disagree that he should be in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's definitely a good quarterback on a good team, but I definitely think that there are probably uh, better candidates. When you look,
Right.
um, my personal favorite and who I think should really get some talk is we've kind of talked about this before. C.J. Stroud,
Yes, I
leading a
agree.
Texans organization that nobody thought would be any good, and they're in the fight for their division
Mm-hmm.
in the playoff spot. So
Mm-hmm.
um, I think there are probably some more deserving um, players that should be on there, but we all know that this award is the best quarterback on the
Best
best team,
quarterback award, yeah.
not somebody who means the most to the organization. So
Yeah, because if it
um,
was, I think you could easily argue that C.J. Stroud by far should deserves it this year. Before he came into town, obviously they were picking top five in the draft last year. That's how they got the guy in the first place. Um,
two picks, two
yeah,
picks in the top five.
yeah, two picks in the top five. Obviously, one of them they received in a trade. Otherwise, that doesn't make sense. Unless they were so bad, the NFL felt that sorry about for him. But no, yeah, obviously they have made it a miraculous turnaround under C.J. Stroud. I think you make up a great point that he, if you're talking most valuable player, then yeah, C.J. Stroud's probably right there. If you're talking best quarterback, I think you could argue Dak Prescott's that guy right now. Um, but it kind of is like what you said. It's given to the best quarterback on the best team, and the Eagles are 2 games better than anybody else right now. And Jalen Hurts' numbers are comparable to those top guys. So it makes sense. Whether or not I think it's fair that he's going to win it, I don't know. But it is what it is. He's having a great year, so hats off to him, regardless. But um, I guess now we can kind of make our predictions for this upcoming game between the Niners and the Eagles. Big heavyweight matchup. Ignore that. Ignore that. Sorry about that. Um, Between two really good teams in the NFC. Uh, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles are playing host to the Niners. So you would think that would give them a little bit of an advantage, but according to Vegas, it seemingly does not. They got the Niners 3-point favorites. I think I'm going to agree with Vegas. I think I got the Niners beating Philadelphia. We'll say 24-17.
Oh man, this is tough because that everything in my head is saying 49ers. Just they feel like the better team, the more consistent team. But the Eagles, they just are finding ways to win. It
They
seems like
do.
they can do no wrong late in games. Everything seems to fall their way.
That's true.
Um, but I think I'm going to agree with you. I think the 49ers are too good of a team to make, those little mistakes
Right.
uh, late in the game to kind of cost them. I think they win by 10.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Wow. They agree with you. So,
Perfect.
no, yeah, I think it makes sense to have the Niners winning this game. I mean, they're the more complete team. The Eagles have struggled as far as pass defense goes this year, and then not just that, but also in the first half, they've just not looked like they have in the second half. So, I think that could end up putting them in a hole against a really good Niners offense. And the Niners know how to play ahead. They know how to play when they're ahead. So I think that inevitably will give them the upper hand there. But anyways,
It'd be a real cat fight.
yeah, yeah. Unless you have anything else, Aaron, I guess that'll do it here for the most unprofessional sports YouTube channel. Swivel Chair
There you go.
Sports.
You got there.
I'm your host, Zach Circleberg Burkle, here with my co host today, Aaron. Go ahead and say bye, Aaron.
Bye, Aaron.
All right. That'll do it. Deuces.